Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world that you're at.
Alrighty then. Well, I'm here. Hopefully, our host will be back. This will be a short chat. Yeah, my name is Casper Stockham, and I'm the guest, not the host. So, I don't know if this is going live on his Facebook or where, but
All right, am I back?
yeah, you
All
are.
right.
I
I
was gonna say
lost me for,
that's gonna be a short chat with me just me talking to
no,
myself.
I lost them for a second. I hit the button and let people join, and it just disappeared. So that's not going to happen again. I'm going to make sure we don't do that. At least I'm going to try to make sure we don't do that.
Yeah.
And then we just go back. Did I lose you again?
No, I'm here.
Okay, you're good. Cool. So we have Casper Stockham on today, and Casper and I have been friends for, oh my gosh, at least 15, 16 years. And
At
we
least, yes,
ran,
sir.
yeah, we've ran in the streets together. We've been part of all kind of cool stuff together. And Casper and his wife Cheryl are just some amazing people that just do some amazing things for people. And it's been that way since I've known them. My wife and I have benefited from some of the marriage retreats that they have done. We've benefited from being friends of the family. We've benefited from breaking bread together. There's just all kind of things, and so sometimes I will get on these calls or I'll get on these events, and I'll be talking to folks that maybe I just met a week ago, or I'll be talking to folks that I just met a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about them. I'm excited about having those conversations with them, but I don't know their character. I don't know the people that they are. But that's different here. And so
Yeah.
tonight, whatever we talk about, I know is going to be good. But the last probably, Casper, last 4 or 5 weeks, as I've been
Hmm.
doing my podcast and I've been doing these events, a lot has come up about marriage and what it means to
Yeah.
be married. I talked to I guess a lady who has been married, I think 2 weeks ago on my podcast. She's now been married 41 years,
Wow.
and she was telling me some of the things that her and her husband have done in order to stay married for 41 years. And
Hmm.
one of the things that she said is they made commitments to each other 41 years ago that said we're not going to intentionally say anything to each other that is intending to hurt the other person. I thought
Hmm.
that was really
That's
good
good.
because that was
No, that's
something
good.
that they put into their vows is, we may say something that hurts, but intentionally we're not going to do it. The other thing that she said that really kind of, I hadn't thought about that before, is they said whatever the problem is, we're going to put that problem in front of us, and then we will tackle that problem together. And the
Right.
way that they did that, they did it visually because they would sit like booth style, like at a restaurant where you sit next to each other,
Yeah.
and then they said the problem is what's set across from them, and
Yeah.
then they would be looking at the problem instead of each other as the problem. And so I thought that was really cool. It's something that I haven't gotten an argument with Renee since she told me that. So I haven't had to try that yet. So I got it in my back pocket where like we're gonna go sit next to each other at the booth. Maybe we'll even go to a restaurant and put the problem in front of us, which I think will be
Yeah.
pretty fun and pretty cool. Um, the other thing that I think that would be that another gentleman told me, and he'd been married for 35 years,
Hmm.
and he just said, "Hey, we've been married 35 years, but it was on me, and I had to go do some stuff." He said, "But most of our problems, and you can probably attest to all the couples you guys have talked to, was finances." And
Yeah.
they decided to go on a debt elimination journey together. And so he said it took him 3 or 4 years. He was a teacher, and I don't know if she was stay at home, but this is into their marriage a few years. And they just decided, I think they started out with Dave Ramsey and then moved into a couple other programs. But at the same time, they said they did that together. And he said it wasn't that our relationship like slowly got better. He said it immediately got better. And it's been that way since after they decided to tackle the money situation. So, Casper, thanks for being on today. I want you to introduce yourself and kind of talk about who you are a little bit and what you're doing. I just wanted to preface that. I would love to kind of talk about that since it's been something that's been happening in all of my shows lately. I don't know if it's like a sign, Brian, you need to make sure that you and Renee are okay, or it's just that is what people are concerned with today. But yeah, go ahead and just kind of, I want to give you the floor. I want you to talk, about who you are, what the things you guys do is, and then maybe we can just chop it up about marriage for the next 45 minutes if possible.
Absolutely. So all those things you mentioned are definitely things that come up often in the coaching that we do. So my name is Casper Stockham. My wife Cheryl and I are Christian TV broadcast producers and marriage coaches, and we've been doing that for about 18 years. And it's just been our passion to really help couples and even singles to have healthy, happy communications and happy marriages. So the first lady you were talking about, it's really weird to talk to couples, especially Christian couples, who are arguing and fussing and fighting with each other, intentionally being mean to one another. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're on the love walk, if you're on the God walk, it's almost impossible. It's literally impossible for me to argue with Cheryl if I'm on the love walk. If I'm focused on love, if I'm focused on Christ, it's impossible for me to argue with her. But it's easy for me to argue with her if I'm off it, right? If I'm into myself, if I'm into whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and something goes off, and then something happens, and I say, I can't believe you did that, then I'm off the love walk when that happens. So, and in marriages and relationships, the three biggest hurdles or the three biggest challenges people have are finances, like you were talking about, communication, and
Mm-hmm.
sex. Those are the top three big ones, but there are many others,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so the one thing about arguing, there was another one you mentioned. Another case was the so in our workshops, we do that same exercise with the problem. Because once we identify the
Mm-hmm.
problem, we remove it from whoever is causing the problem. In other words, if it's alcoholism or if it's whatever it is, right? You separate that. The problem is the problem, not your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Your spouse is a child of God just like you are, or should be. So the problem has come
Mm-hmm.
into your lives, come into your marriage, and you need to treat the problem as being separated. So on the other side of the table, like you mentioned, at the restaurant, you're on one side and the problem's on the other side. We actually take a chair and I take somebody from the audience.
Okay.
And I say, okay, sit down. Now, they are the problem. You're not just right. They're the problem, now,
Yeah,
not
oh,
your
I love
spouse.
it. I love it. Uh-huh.
And then we start to do an exercise about addressing the problem, and we totally remove it from being you attacking your spouse over whatever's going on. So yeah, that's how we do it, and we're excited about doing that. We've written several books now on marriages and
Okay.
relationships. We wrote a book 4 years ago called Divorce Proofing Your Marriage.
Ooh.
2 years ago,
Okay.
yeah, 2 years ago, I wrote a book called Mastering Adam. It's the biblical Adam.
Okay.
And about a year ago, Cheryl wrote the book Mastering Eve. It's the biblical Eve. So we're coming at it from the
Okay.
male perspective and the female perspective. And then we have a series called Mastering Adam and Eve. So we brought it all together. And just a little sneak peek for the viewers and listeners today. On the 1st of June, we're going to be releasing our new book called The Marriage Constitution.
Ooh, that sounds
and
exciting.
and
Maybe
it's
talk
going to
about that. Yeah. What?
it's going to be based on we're doing it in conjunction with the 250-year anniversary of America. So we're actually going to
Okay.
Philadelphia. We're going to be part of another author kind of gathering, signing, and so forth. And we're going to be launching our book there. And then on the 4th of July is when the book is going to be live or available for sale on Amazon.
On Independence Day, huh? I love it.
Yes,
I
sir.
love it.
Yes, sir.
Independence Day launching. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's what. Well, so what? I mean, what's the difference between, like you said, it's the marriage constitution, but
hmm
what would be the difference between that and like marriage vows and marriage covenant? And
So the marriage
were
constitution
you
is
able to
going to
hear me?
contain. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. The marriage constitution is going to contain 250 commitments that couples need to make to each other,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's going to be under 5 different pillars. It's going to be under pillar of covenant, family,
Mm-hmm.
um, covenant, family. Shoot, now I just had a brain loss here. There's covenant, there's family, there's purpose, there's legacy, and there's one more that I'm forgetting. But I will find it before we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So with 250 commitments, it just seems like that's a lot to remember. Are there like in sections where you remember maybe the section and not the
Yeah.
actual commitment, or is it you work through them and you talk about them? I mean, what's kind of the
Yeah.
goal there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be in segments. Like I said, it's going to be covenant, family, freedom, purpose, and legacy. So each,
Okay.
there's going to be many chapters, but those 5 pillars are going to have 50 per pillar of commitments in those specific areas, and that's going to make up the marriage constitution.
Okay. Man, I can't wait to read it. Can't wait to have to dig into it. And I'm sure we'll hear more about it soon. What one of the things that you mentioned at the beginning is you talked about being a Christian marriage, counselor or Christian marriage. And sometimes, when we think about Christian, we think that everybody is okay and everybody's doing it right. And sometimes some of the Christians can be some of the meanest people on the planet. How do you help people see that, just because the word Christian isn't part of, or is part of the title or part of the folks that show up and say, I'm a Christian, doesn't mean that they're living those values or those portions of their life.
Well, not only does it not mean it, unfortunately, in the body of Christ, there's almost indistinguishable between the body of Christ and the world when it comes to marital issues. In other words, the divorce rate
Mm,
and sexual what am I trying to say? Extramarital affairs, all those are just as prevalent in the body of Christ than it is in the world, and it should be polar opposite. In fact, the world should be looking at the body of Christ saying,
hmm
how do you guys do it? How do you stay together? How do you not argue? How do you not? They should be asking us on a daily basis, how do we get through this marriage thing? But that's not the case. So that's
hmm
our cause. That's our mission. That's our charge, is to change that dynamic in the body of Christ first, and then we'll branch out to the rest of the world. So that's why we say we're Christian marriage coaches, because we go into a Christian environment and say, look, first of all, knock it off. Okay, you should be
Yeah.
following Christ. You should be following God. You should be following the Holy Spirit. You should be on that love walk. So a lot of stuff you're doing, and it is under your control. I really get frustrated when people say, I just can't help it. No, you can actually help it. You
We all
can't
have
help it.
choices, right?
You got choices. You can absolutely help it. And they just make all kind of excuses about whatever. And I get it. I get it. But every time I look at my bad choices, I also know that I at that time, I made the bad choice. It wasn't like, I just wound up.
Mm,
Oh, well, how did I get here in this bed with this woman? No, I made
yeah.
the choices to get there. Right. So we just have to stop making those choices, and we try to walk people through it. So we're not licensed counselors. We have a certificate from different places, but we're not like PhDs or anything like that. But we've been out here for 18
Well, and
years.
sometimes that,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I think for some of us, yeah, I'm not saying that education is bad because I have a doctorate about thinking,
Okay.
but sometimes there's just some common sense that doctors don't have that people who have been married for a long time have. I
Yeah.
know so many doctors, even in the counseling arena, that have been divorced and they're
Right.
doing marriage counseling, and some of them two or three times. Like,
Yeah.
you haven't got this right yet. So
Yeah.
why is it like just because you went to school, were you not listening? Were you
Yeah.
not paying attention? And so I think, being around people, and how much, is it important for, I guess, couples to be around other couples as examples? I mean, we try to do so much stuff
It's
on
a
our own these days, and
yeah.
sometimes it doesn't make sense to me.
Go ahead.
I said sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me as if we're trying to do stuff all by ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
And is it important for us to be around other couples and other people that are having successful marriage? Or, I mean, I guess it's hard to say what's happening inside the house, but at least from the outside and the way they talk about each other and the way that they love about each other leave some clues. Am
Yeah.
I right?
Well, yeah, it's important, but you know what, Brian? What I've noticed is that people have two faces, and I don't mean that
Mm-hmm.
in a mean spirited way, but they show one face in public and a totally different face in private. So even if you're with
Yeah.
them as a couple, whatever, they're on their best behavior. They're opening the car door for their wife or whatever. You're doing all this stuff, and then when they get, oh, lost Brian. Are you still there, sir? Anyways, like I was saying, hopefully Brian will come back online here. But they're one way in public and a totally different way in private. And in private, they're arguing with their spouse. They're yelling and screaming and just treating them badly, and that's just unacceptable. We should be working towards or looking towards God and heading up in that triangle, and that should be the focus. That should be the goal. And as we're doing that, we're going to be closer to God, and we're going to get closer to each other in the process. So there really shouldn't be any distinction between who we are at home and who we are at church, or who we are at work, or who we are at the grocery store. It should be the same all the time. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect in that regard, or my wife is perfect in that regard, but we work towards that on a daily basis. So
I think I got crazy on my phone real quick, but I'm not sure why I did that. Um, can you hear me still?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
All
I can hear
right,
you,
let
but
me
I
see if
cannot
I
see
can
you.
get this. I'm gonna pop out and see if I can pop back in just to, if you can hear me. It's just I can't hear you. So I hate technology some days. I'm just gonna sit right here and, it feels like a little chickmunk for me right here. So let me pop out. I'm gonna pop right back in, and then maybe I can do. Let's see if I can refresh here. Da, 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 da.
All right, we're on a break, intermission break. So while we're on break, I'm gonna do a commercial for my books. No, just kidding. Here's our book, Mastering Eve and Mastering Adam and Eve.
All right. Oh,
I
you
was
showing
doing
your book? Oh, perfect.
I was
Can you hear
doing a
me now?
commercial while you were, yeah, I was doing a commercial while you were gone. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Let's see
Hello?
if it's the.
Hello?
Let me see if my earpiece is what's. All right. Let's see.
I
Now I
can
don't
hear
have
you. Can you hear
sound,
me?
but I have you.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
see if
here.
I
I'm speaking.
can. Oops. How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, hello. Well,
Yeah, I'm
show
here.
your book, and if you can hear me, I'm gonna try to do what I can to get
Yeah, I can hear
the
you.
sound to work. Um, let's see. Um,
I'm back. Can you hear me?
are you able to hear me at all?
Yes, but you can't hear me. I'm speaking. Let me check my audio. Testing one, testing. Yeah, my speakers are on. You should be able to hear me. And I don't know why you cannot. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Nope. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No, I can't hear you. That's weird. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No.
Let me see if I can move to a
Now I can hear you.
different
I can hear you now.
frustrating. How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Can you hear
You
me?
can. I just can't hear you yet. Okay.
Oh my
So I'll
goodness.
keep working on that. So what I was saying is and maybe you can talk to this where I'm trying to fix the technology on my end. But the fact that some folks or some families have decided that they're like maybe a wife had said, her mom said, you can't really trust your man, so you need to have a separate bank account in case he leaves, and you'd have to be okay with taking care of your kids and all those things that prevalent sometimes in our culture that just says, I don't trust you enough because my mom's told me not to trust you. How do you help like folks that believe that way understand what marriage really means and how to not, I guess, be so overbearing and so I don't trust this relationship even though I got into it.
Yeah, that's a great question. And what I say to folks is look, so you're telling me that you don't trust them with your bank account, but you do trust them with your body. You trust them with the most precious thing that you have, your life. You're sleeping with this individual, but you don't trust them with your bank account. That's kind of bizarre to me. Now, I'm not passing judgment because I've been there myself. I call it BC before Cheryl. I was a hot mess on the relationship side, and I had separate accounts and separate this and separate that. But as if you're in a biblical marriage, you are working towards being one. It's we. It's not me or it's not I. So you are focused on that as opposed to focused on well, I don't trust this person, or my mom said not to trust men. That's those are thoughts and words from the enemy. That's not from God, right? God thinks and looks at marriages as a holy union, and it's not about, well, I don't trust this person with this or that. So that's something we have to work through. And you can't hear me, can you? This is one weird interview. Brian, hello.
I'll pull my computer up here and see if I can.
Must be time for another book commercial break. Did I tell you about my book, our book, Mastering Adam and Eve? And did I tell you about Cheryl's book, Mastering Eve? I don't have the other ones in arm's reach. Working on, we wrote a book 4 years ago called Divorce Proofing Your Marriage. And I wrote a book called Mastering Adam, but I don't have it. It's here, but not here. I don't have it handy.
All right, Mr. Casper, can you see me now? Hear me now?
I can hear
Let's
you.
see.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can
Not
you hear
yet.
me?
Okay, I think we're almost there.
I can hear you.
One more thing to get my headphones on. Oh my gosh. Holy moly, moly, moly. I switched devices hoping that, because whatever the other device I had would not let me talk. So I can barely hear you. Let me see what I can do here.
You can hear me though? I checked my mics and everything. I'm good on my end. And it was working. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's just a matter of my speaker working, and we're going to be good.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
All right, I think I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
What
Oh my gosh,
what
what is up with
what
technology?
I answered your
Somebody
last
doesn't want us to
question,
have the
but
conversation about what
I
does it take to
know.
love our wives, right?
I know, it's crazy. I answered your last question.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Um, I missed the answer, but I'm sure it was a
Right.
good one, and I
Oh, it was
appreciate
good.
that. What would be? Do you guys have a couple of events coming up right here pretty soon? Maybe you can talk
Um,
about the event and how, or did you just have one and you don't have another one for a while?
well, we had a love summit last weekend, and that was great. We had six speakers on that, including, in fact, Emilio and his wife were speaking, and Jose and his wife were speaking, and so that was good. We have a workshop coming up and stuff. We still have some spots open on that workshop. There is a cost involved with it, but I will give a special discount to anyone watching this or listening to this. Um, if they reach out to me personally, we'll get them in for $75. We
Okay.
are charging $175 for the workshop, but if they reach out to me and say they heard it here, we'll get them in for $75.
Oh
Um,
wow, cool.
yeah.
What can people expect at the workshop?
So it's going to be a 4 hour workshop, hands on workshop. Cheryl and I do workshops and retreats all the time. So we have a lot of material that we share with folks dealing with communication, dealing with finance and budgeting, dealing with sex and romance. We work on helping them divorce proof their marriage. We work on reigniting their, rekindling their affection for one another, love for one another. We try to bring them back to where they were when they first got married, right? You
Hmm.
don't walk down the aisle with someone and you're like, I can't stand you. I can't stand you. You know,
Oh
that's
my
not how it
God.
starts, right? But now if they're
Uh-huh.
there, we got to take them back. Okay, you got to go all the way back, and there's a lot of stuff you got to forgive now because there's all this stuff in between, all the hurt feelings and everything else. You got to go all the way back, um, to that spot. So we'll break it down with the couples. We'll talk about forgiveness a lot. We're going to talk about becoming one in their marriage a lot, things like that. So
Oh, wow, cool. When you say divorce proof your marriage,
hmm
I know you guys wrote a book on that.
yeah.
I mean, maybe just give us a few tips on what that means or things that we should do in order to make sure that isn't something that happens in our life.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my book.
Okay.
I just had it on my shelf over there. It wasn't in arm's reach. I didn't know we were going to go deep into marriage stuff tonight. But we have 7 keys actually to help them divorce proof their marriage. We
Oh
won't
wow.
have time to go through all of them tonight for sure. I can mention them all, but we won't have time to go through them all.
Yeah.
So we break it down into 7 keys. The first one is commit to the higher power and each other. So you make a recommitment to God. It starts there, right? Because we've. It's funny. We ask Christian couples. They come to us with a challenge, and they say, well, first of all, they say, well, I want you to fix her, and he says, I want you to fix, or she says, I want you to fix him.
Hmm.
And then we say, so where is God in your relationship?
Ooh.
What do you mean?
Ooh.
Well, you guys are both Christians, right? So where is God in all this? So that's the first one. The second one is remember why, and remember your why and the plan. Like I
Hmm.
said, you're walking down the aisle, you're all lovey dovey, and oh my goodness, you can't believe this is happening. And then now it's like, oh, I can't stand them, right? So let's go back to the beginning and remember why you even had this thought to be married from the beginning. And then manage your expectations. Most people that get married, unfortunately, they come from well, not unfortunate. They come from two different households, maybe two different parts of the country, maybe two different languages, maybe two different countries or whatever. And they have these expectations of how it was for them growing up, or or whatever. So you got to manage those. You got to be aware of them and manage them, and make sure they're reasonable expectations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a big problem for me because I was very selfish in the beginning. So I had to really get a hold of I had to really manage my expectations of my wife, and then keep your relationship love bank full. So we should always be pouring into our spouse positively, not negatively. We shouldn't be calling them names. Okay, if you wouldn't call her that name in church, don't call her that name at home.
Ooh,
Right?
there you go. I like that.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not gonna call her all kind of B's and H's in church, right? So don't even think about doing it at home, right? Learn the danger signs when it comes to escalation of tension. So learn those signs and manage them. And we teach them all these things that I'm talking about. So like negative interpretations is a negative danger sign. Um, um, there's a couple others and stuff. Lost my train of thought on that, but there's a couple danger signs we tell them about. To make sure they manage. And then learn how to communicate and listen well. Most of us aren't listening to try to work through the issue. We're listening just as soon as they stop talking, right? Okay, as soon as they stop, then you're like, ah. So we got to manage the communication between each other. And we actually have a free tool. Oh, I forgot to mention. So we have a Love Hub community, MVP Love Hub community. And in the Love Hub, it's free to join. We have all of our tools and stuff in the Love Hub. And one of them is a communication tool. So we teach couples how to slow down the communication and do it in a way that removes the ability to even argue. You can't even argue using our tool. It's impossible. Because all you're doing is paraphrasing back to them what they say. So like if you and I were having an argument about this broadcast, right? I can't believe a thing is breaking. It wasn't connecting right. So what you're saying is when it didn't connect right, you were frustrated.
Gotcha. So I have to
That's
re-say
what I was.
that.
Yeah.
That's
So our
huge.
tool kind of helps them, and guys, we're not good communicators in general. We have learned to be better. I know you definitely have learned to be better, with all the stuff you do, and I have as well, right? To be able to listen better and communicate better. But the average guy, you go to work and whatever, you come home, you're not even. The wife is wanting to download something to you, and you're like, "Yeah, honey, whatever." You got your phone.
Let me turn on the game.
You're not listening to them at all, right? So
No.
we got to put the phone down, push away from the TV or the computer or whatever, and give your spouse that attention that that they need, so they can download to you and you can download to them. And if things get heated, pull out the communication tool that we have to work through those conversations. And then the last one is learn the power of forgiveness, because we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
And you say, yeah, but they haven't apologized. Okay, well, whether they apologize or not, you still have to forgive, because in the Bible, it doesn't say forgive.
After they said sorry, yeah.
After, yeah. After they say sorry, but if they don't say sorry, do not forgive them. Right? No, that's not what it says.
It doesn't say that. No.
Matter
No,
of
not
fact,
at all.
I have learned to forgive quickly, because it also says in the Bible, if you don't, you block your blessing.
Ooh, yeah, that's so true.
And I'm like, you ain't stealing my blessing. I forgive
Not
you.
over this. Not over
over
a piece
this.
of cake, whatever it is.
Right? Exactly.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So all those are things that we go over in the workshop and help
that's
couples
cool.
understand it.
What are the things, and this will probably be my last question for tonight, and then we can we're good. Casper and I are doing a podcast next week, so we'd love for you
Yes.
guys to jump on to that one.
Yeah.
But some folks shouldn't get married, and
Right.
you just know that going into it. And there's, we like the church has some premarital counseling, that kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
set up, and there's different places you can go. But are there
Mm-hmm.
some signs or some red flags that tell you this is not the person for me, or that we need to spend a little bit more time doing some things together to make sure that we are compatible?
Yeah, that's another checklist.
There we
Yeah.
go. I love it, love it, love it.
It's got it's called Seven Keys to a Healthy Relationship.
Okay.
And if you really focus on these seven keys, you won't get into a bad marriage. It's almost
Hmm.
impossible.
Okay.
The first one is seek a good match. You know, we
Okay.
we we see them physically, we're attracted. We don't even find out if they're Christian or find out if they don't like sports and we're really into sports, or
Hmm.
find out they're really like to go hiking and we hate going into the woods. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We gotta seek a good match, right? It has to be somebody that has similar likes and even dislikes
Hmm.
with you, right? You know, their political persuasion is kind of super important these days, right? If you marry someone that's totally opposite politically, that's another
Yeah.
challenge. So if you know that going in, then you can avoid marrying someone that
Hmm.
you know it's going to be a problem. Pay attention to your values and their values.
Okay.
So make sure you actually have some values,
And we
right?
know we have it. We act like we don't. So
Okay.
we know you got baggage.
So when I met Cheryl and stuff, you know, and we were dating for a brief time, you know, we got married 45 days after we dated.
Oh wow. Okay.
But during that 45 days, boy, we were talking all the time. We were going over
Hmm.
everything because we didn't want to make another. I didn't want to make another mistake, and she didn't want to make the
Hmm.
first mistake.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we really talked about that. Also, choose a real partner, not a makeover project.
Hmm.
So
You can't
women,
change people.
you can't change them.
We
And
think
women
we
try
gonna
to,
change them.
yeah,
Oh, they'll
yeah,
change.
they'll change. Yeah, you know, it's like if you want to marry a saggy pants dude, then just know you're marrying a saggy pants dude.
Hmm.
Don't marry a saggy pants dude and want him to not pull his pants up now that you're married.
Yep.
No, that's who you married,
It ain't
right?
happening. Yep.
They ain't happening. And don't try to change yourself to be somebody else. So
Okay.
so don't pretend that you're into sports, and then as soon as you marry your spouse, and then you know they're watching the game, and you're like, "Are you watching that game again?" Yeah, well, yeah, I was always watching the game. I thought you liked the game. I hate
Hmm.
sports. You know, you're just pretending to like sports, supposed to be with that
Yeah.
person, and now you hate it. So don't do that. Expect good communication. If you can't talk to the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, if you can't have a normal conversation, that's a huge red flag.
Hmm.
That's like run away from that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and don't play games or manipulate people.
Mm.
So back in the day, you know, BC before Cheryl, I was a player, right?
Hmm.
So I'm playing games, and it got me into trouble every single time.
Every time. Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. There's not one time it didn't get me in trouble.
Wow. Yeah.
So don't do that. Don't do that. And have a bottom line. You know,
Oh. Okay.
have some. Yeah. So Cheryl had a bottom line. She said there will be no physical relationship until we get married.
Mm. Okay.
So we can date, we can go out, have a good time, whatever, but no cookies until we get married.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and it's so much of that is so important. The non-negotiables. Like, no,
Right.
this
Right.
is this is what I'm not going to negotiate on, and this is how we'll do, and this is what I
Yeah.
love, and I'm not going camping, so we're not getting in a tent. We're not going to
Right.
drive in a RV. It's just not going to happen. And don't
Right.
think it is. You know what? I
Right.
love that because if you have that list of your non-negotiables, it makes it easier not to fall in love with the person who doesn't have those attributes. So that's
Correct.
really cool.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, good, good, good. Well, Casper, I want to thank you for being on tonight and doing this with me, and we'll get the
Hmm.
recording out. And for those of you who, hey, I watch it tonight, but I'm watching it as a recording. We can't wait to have you on another one. Please hit subscribe to these. We have fun every single week. We'll get some
Yep.
other folks on. We'll do this again. Again, Casper and I are next Thursday, so look for on, I guess it's YouTube and Facebook and all that for us to do a
Yeah.
podcast. We'll dive deep into his life and the other things that he's done. This is just a taste.
Just a
Make
little
sure you
taste.
go to or the workshop that's coming up. We'll
Yep.
put that into the show notes here to make sure that folks can attend and get there. Is that one
Yeah,
virtual
they
or is
can.
that one person? The workshop.
It's going to be online, virtual, and it's going to
Okay.
be. They can get to it by going to our website, which is iamlovebuilders.net.
I am
I
lovebuilders.net. Okay.
am.net, and just click on workshop.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you. I know you got a lot of stuff to do tonight, as do I. And
Yeah.
may the Lord bless you and keep you. Make
Amen.
his face shine
Amen.
and glory upon you, right? And so we'll look forward to
Amen.
talking to you guys later. You guys have an amazing, awesome, just incredible rest of your night tonight. We'll look forward to talking to you on the next one.